Let's take a look. And Governor Palin joins us now. Governor, great to see you again. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, Sean.
All right. I don't know if you heard this, because you've been very busy, and we're going to ask you about your tour, but did you know that your bus tour may have been illegal? And let me play the comments of Martin Bashir.
It all sounds like a wonderful commitment to American values and American history, but it's nothing of the kind. In fact, the whole thing could be in breach of a federal law, because the United States Flag Code establishes important rules for the use and display of the Stars and Stripes, the flag of the United States. Under standards of respect and etiquette, it's made clear that the flag of the United States should never be used for any advertising purpose whatsoever. Yet that's precisely what Sarah Palin is doing.
Well, I might be in jail. My first book had the American flag behind it. I had a bus, my conservative victory tour, had the American flag. We may be going to jail. Governor, I have to get your reaction to it.
What a goof. Who does he work for? No, I know who he works for.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, whom he works for, they have a flag advertising for their cable news network. What a joke. He has no clue, I guess, what the laws are and what my freedom as an American is, and that's to get to showcase and this symbol of our freedom, our American flag, which I love.
All right, let's talk a little bit about the tour, Governor. It's gotten a lot of media, a lot of press. Press is actually angry at you, and they've even made remarks and comments that, well, we feel like the paparazzi, we're not being treated well. Nobody forced them to go. Certainly you told people you were going, but what was the original purpose of the bus tour?
Well, first, maybe this is the first time I've ever disappointed or angered the press. It's not,
yeah.
Of course. But, you know, the whole purpose of this tour is to showcase America's foundation, to talk about our Constitution, to hand out constitutions, copy of our Constitution as we go along, looking at the historical sites on this East Coast that is so beautiful, so rich in history. Sean, it's so important that we be in touch with our nation's history, with our past, so that we can learn from it and so that we can move forward in these very heady days in front of us successfully. We only can do that by learning more about our past. So we're highlighting what it is that built America, our strong foundation, in order to move forward.
One of the things that got a lot of play, and I missed you when you were in New York, but you did have an opportunity to meet with Donald Trump, and you went to Trump Tower, and then you went out for pizza with Donald Trump. What did you think of meeting Donald Trump for the first time?
I've met him before, and I've spoken with him a few times, and we have a nice relationship because I have respect for him being a non-politician. I'm not real enamored by politicians. I like people who are candid, and I like folks who, in Donald's case, with that business acumen that others should be learning from. I respect some of the things that Donald Trump represents. So, you know, we have a good relationship, and it was fun to get to spend some time with him.
All right. He said on Fox and Friends that you would like to see him, would love to get me back in the race. Did you talk about him getting back in the race?
I said I would love for him to stay in there shaking it up, being candid, as I say, and holding this president accountable. And Donald Trump has proven that he could do that. You know, obviously, with the birth certificate, Obama felt pressure. And finally, the media wasn't going to do it. Donald Trump pushed it and the issue, and Obama finally had to show his birth certificate. So that, you know, that's just one example of what Donald Trump can accomplish.
All right. I spent a lot of time, I spent about a half hour with him on the radio the other day. It was right after your meeting. He had incredibly complimentary things to say about you. You're incredibly bright and smart, intelligent, iconoclastic. He really came out in a very strong, forceful way defending you. And then we got into this whole issue that he would consider, if he doesn't like the Republican field, maybe consider running as an independent. And I kind of walked him through this a little bit. Remember, I don't know if you remember the Reagan CPAC speech when he said, you know, is it a third party we need or a revitalized second party? And Reagan said it was one, a new revitalized second party with no pale pastels but bold colors. If he were to seek your counsel, your advice over maybe a piece of pizza and a Coke, what would you say to him if he said he wanted to run third party?
You know what, a year ago, I would have said, please don't even consider third party. We've got to shore up what is good and strong and principled within the Republican Party, and we've got to run on a Republican ticket, stand strong on the planks in a strong platform that is the GOP. Well, I think conditions have changed in this last year, where after the November midterm elections, we swept in a new crop of hardcore fiscal conservatives with a lot of common sense who had solutions that they want to see applied in order to get the economy back on the right track. Well, too many in the GOP are still resistant and resisting that movement of this new crop of common sense conservatives. And if they're not careful in the GOP, there will be a third party rise up, just like back in the day when the Whigs finally went away and Republicans rose up. That is what the GOP should be fearing today, is the electorate will get fed up with business as usual in the GOP and a third party will rise up. Not that I want to see that, because I still have belief strongly that the GOP planks are best for our country, but they have just the machine that runs the GOP has got to be very careful.
Wouldn't a third party, if Donald Trump ran, wouldn't he split the anti-Obama vote, those people that see that he's failed as president, that his economic policies are a disaster, wouldn't he split that vote?
That would be the fear of having that third party be engaged in this next go-around of election cycle. That is the fear. But, Sean, where the GOP, though, is still missing the boat is look where we are today. We're on day 760-something of no budget in the federal government, and that is the Democrats' fault. And yet the public, for the most part, is unaware of that because the GOP doesn't have a concerted, aggressive message against the Democrats being derelict in their duty to pass a budget. Another point that the Republicans are missing right now that could be an opportunity to invite a third party in, and if they don't want to see a third party run, they better get their stuff together, is with Obamacare. They had promised, so many of them had promised, running on a platform of repealing Obamacare, and now some of them are kind of vacillating, saying, well, maybe we can tweak it and not just repeal it and replace it. So that's another point that they're missing there. There are quite a few issues that the GOP had better get their stuff together on in order to make sure that Obama does not have another 4 years. Because, Sean, can you imagine where our country is going to be 4 years later with Obama? We will be bankrupt. We will have poked our allies when it comes to foreign policy in the eye so aggressively that we're going to be left without any friends across the globe. We're going to be in a world of hurt if things don't change quickly. So we have got to be in a concerted effort, making sure that Americans know they have a choice. We don't have to just settle for big government, overreaching, socialized programs and policies that Obama wants. We have a choice here.
I want to get your thoughts on Ryan's plan.
I have great respect for Representative Ryan producing what it is that he produced to save Medicare. It is the Republicans who want to save that safety net for our esteemed elders, and we cannot let the mainstream media manipulate this issue and dictate really what they want people to believe this Medicare reform program in order to save it of Representative Ryan's is. Now, I heard Pelosi say, and she outright lied, saying, well, the Republicans, you know, they want to do away with Medicare as we know it. No, it's the Democrats who are going to do away with Medicare as we know it. They're going to dissolve Medicare because we are going to be bankrupt. There will be nothing for recipients to receive. We will have no money. So what Paul Ryan wants to do is reform it, change some of the rules, and allow that safety net to continue. It's an outright lie of Nancy Pelosi's for her to be telling the American public that it's the Republicans who want to leave seniors out there on their own trying to figure out health care themselves. And it's the media, too, complicit in what it is that Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats are trying to convince people is behind this Medicare reform that we need.
Well, it seems that that's the Democratic talking point. They're back to Medicare, scaring old people. That's why they're so upset with the whole Anthony Weiner issue this week, because it took away precious days for them to go out and scare seniors on an issue. The president himself did this, Governor. The president said that children with autism, Down syndrome, and old people, quote, will have to fend for themselves. That's not true. because the person that cut Medicare by $500 billion was President Obama to institute,
right.
Obamacare. And how do Republicans, and we're going to get back to this third-party issue in a second, but how do Republicans fight back against the lies, distortions, demagoguery, misinformation? What advice do you give them? How do they counter this, which effectively has worked in the past?
We tell the truth. And the truth is that President Obama is lying. He's not just misstating. He's not just misconstruing some facts or some data and information. No, he's lying when he says that those with Down syndrome, those with autism, those who need that safety net will be left on their own if the Republicans have their way. That is not true. We really need, time is so short, Sean. We have got to turn things around very, very quickly. So when we face an issue that we're facing today where lies are coming out of the Democrat Party and coming from the media, trying to make it sound like the GOP wants to dismantle Medicare when it is President Obama who has cut the $500 from the Medicare program, we have got to call him on this. We've got to hold him accountable. Time is short. We don't have the time. We don't have the resources to waste and fool around being anything but candid with the American people.